Matrix, welcome. My name is Marcelle, and I'm here today to talk to you about the last full moon that is happening for this year, which is happening in Cancer on the 30th of December at 8 degrees. So before I dive into that, I just need to ask you, please, if you enjoy our content, to like and subscribe to our channel. I also want to ask you to get your chart out so that you can get a sense of where this full moon is happening, so that it's easier for you to understand the themes of what will be playing out for you, because there's quite a lot going on during this full moon, and it's an important one. And then at the end of each introduction to the full moon, I do a tarot reading. I pick 4 cards on behalf of the collective, just to give us a deeper sense of what is playing out for us from a perspective, from a collective perspective. All right, so let's dive straight into it. So as I mentioned, the full moon is happening in Cancer at 8 degrees on the 30th of December. And it's a really important full moon, actually, because it's the one that follows the last eclipse that we had, which was a very powerful eclipse. It's also the final full moon. We also subsequently have the Great Conjunction happening on the 21st, which is tomorrow. And then we also have the solstice happening. And on the 25th, there's the last square between Aries and Eris and Pluto. So there may be some disruptive build-up that's happening around that time. Now, on the full moon, it is in Cancer, so it can be, we can be more intuitive and sensitive, and because the moon is in its rulership, which is Cancer, it's a very powerful moon, very powerful emotions. And so the moon is a period of culmination. It's when the intentions that we wrote down and set around the new moon have reached their fulfillment or culmination. And so it's a period generally of either things coming to light or a period of completion. So Cancer rules the home. It rules nurturing. It rules the emotions and intuition and sensitivities. It rules tenderness. It's a very mothering quality. And so I guess we can safely say that the theme for this full moon is very much around nurturing, and because of all the other elements, it's also about expanding that nurturing beyond just ourselves out to those around us, especially because there's a lot of mistrust going on right now with Neptune in a square to the nodes. So the south node is conjuncting Venus in Sagittarius, and the north node is in Gemini, and both of these are in a square to Neptune. So on this planet right now, it's creating an immense amount of confusion. And during this full moon, we may experience ourselves even still holding on to, especially because the south node is next to Venus. We may be enjoying patterns from the past that are no longer serving us. With regards to themes around how it is that we meet each other as humans in terms of our emotions and our feelings, and how we interact with each other and how honest we are with each other. And it's as if we are being pushed forward into a new direction. In fact, everything that has been playing out this year is kind of leading to this culmination point. It's been a really, really intense year with all these planets in Capricorn, a lot of power and control and corruption, and it's been very, very uncomfortable. We've all been forced to meet our shadow, to meet the collective shadow, and so it has created mistrust. And that's what I mean when I say it might be easy to still hold on to the old ways of doing things, instead of recognizing that it's about now moving forward towards a new paradigm, especially because tomorrow with the Great Conjunction we have both Jupiter and Saturn, which is now in Aquarius, coming into an exact conjunction at 0 degrees. So This is a very, very powerful shift that's happening on the planet, and it's kind of the gateway into starting exploring what the age of Aquarius means, which is still going to take some time. It's not a quick thing. It's an unfolding, and we're moving into a new way of operating and being on this planet that starts around expanding consciousness and awareness and our interactions with each other specifically. So considering that this full moon is in Cancer, and it is about care and nurturing, especially the home environment, how is it that we can reflect on where it is that we need more self-nurturing and care, instead of, especially at this period with everything that's happening on, getting lost in our emotions? Can we take time to reflect and questioning everything, questioning things from the past, how they were, questioning how this year has played out, and questioning moving forward and what that should look like. What are we leaving behind? And so what's really beautiful about this is that we have Uranus, which is in Taurus, in a sextile to the full moon and in a trine to the Sun, which is in opposition to the moon, conjunct Mercury. So a full moon means that there's an opposition, which always involves external influences. When we have this opposition, it generally pulls in experiences from the external. And so we have the Sun in Capricorn in a conjunction with Mercury, and we have the moon in Cancer. And there is this opposition between the two of them. The Sun is still exploring these themes around power and what does that mean. And because we have this Neptune in a square to the nodes, there's the confusion around what that power means and mistrust. It's been an intense year. And then of course this moon is in Cancer, and it's in a sextile to Uranus, which also subsequently is in a trine to the Sun and Mercury. So Uranus is really supporting us. It's really bringing the impetus for change. Uranus wants the change, and while it may be disruptive and potentially shocking, it won't be unpleasant, and it's all for transformation and change. If it was in a square or in opposition to Uranus, that would have been very uncomfortable, but this is a sextile and a trine, so it makes it very harmonious. Now we do also have Chiron, which is in Aries, exploring the wounds around self. It is creating a T-square with the Sun and Mercury. So we may feel wounding coming up for us around not feeling appreciated or by society, or not being seen, or not feeling a belonging by society. And so with this Uranus working with both the Sun and the Moon in opposition in a harmonious sextile and trine, it also gives us the opportunity to make new decisions, make changes within our lives that are coming more from a heart space, that are more nurturing, and allow us to start dissolving some of the mistrust that is created through the intensity of this year, especially because we've all been wearing these masks, and there's this sense of space that is required between us. And so starting to heal those wounds where we can start treating everybody as our family and not just our own family, especially since the moon in Cancer is to do with the home and family, but it's also the inner home. So we're working on two levels. We're working on nurturing our inner realms, but we're also working on re-establishing and re-questioning what love for others means for our community and those around us, and starting to look at establishing a connection with our community, especially because the themes of Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius is very much centered around community. It's no longer about the I. It's no longer about power and control. That is wanting to dissolve. And so this beautiful full moon is allowing that. I just want to point out again that with the Chiron, which is the wound, in that T-square to the Sun, there is a possibility that the Sun and the Moon, the Chiron, there is a possibility that this can be an emotional period for us where we are overly sensitive. And so the call here is to become accountable and aware of your emotions and not get swept away by them. This is another quality of the Aquarius energy, which is it has a strong element of detachment to it. It's not about wearing our emotions on our sleeve, but it has got a very strong altruistic and philanthropic element to it. So it is about serving humanity. So this Cancer moon is starting to soften the wounds around the mistrust that has been built up on this planet with the Neptune in a square to the nodes, as well as all the planets in Pluto that have been playing out this year. So it's a really, especially with that Uranus in a sextile and a trine to the Sun and the Moon and Mercury, our mind, our essence and our expression and our feelings and our emotions. It's how can you make new decisions moving forward? How can you start taking on new things that can bring about change in your life? Is it this period? It could be good for starting yoga or simple things like cleaning out your home and your cupboard, starting to write, starting to get more creative, finding new things within your home environment, because Cancer also has to do with the home. New qualities that nurture you. And so this is the reinforcing and supportive quality of Uranus that is wanting us to find new ways to nurture not only ourselves but others. And especially to dissolve the themes around the unhealthy aspect of Capricorn, which is around corruption and power, to a more healthy version of power. So Uranus is supporting that. So become aware of, what inspirations may pop up for you during this time, that can lead you forward in a healthier way that supports and nurtures you as well as others. So, as I mentioned, I always do a tarot reading at the end on behalf of the collective, represented by the full moon in Cancer. And so this is a reading for the collective relating to this full moon in Cancer. And this spread you can find on the Astromatrix app. You are also welcome to reach out for a tarot reading. We offer tarot readings as well as astrology readings through the app. Or you can just pick cards yourself on the app and find out how this actual spread and full moon impacts you personally, because this is for the collective. Okay, so we have 4 questions here, and the theme of the reading for the collective is, all right, the 4 of Swords. So the first question is, what is Cancer moon trying to show me? Where am I needing to nurture myself? Where am I needing to trust? And what am I completing this year? Okay, because this is the last moon of 2020. Alrighty, so very interesting. So the theme is the 4 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords is it's about taking back your energy from whatever it is that has been giving you anxiety, and it's almost like a reset. It's no longer investing so much energy into the things that give you anxiety. Because remember, the Cancer moon is about nurturing. So a good way to start nurturing yourself is by pulling back your energy from things that drain you and from things that you obsess about that are not healthy for you. So that's what this theme is about. So what is Cancer moon trying to show me? And it's interesting, it's the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles it's the victim card, but it's also the card of struggle and not seeing the light that is over there. It's kind of wandering in this state of victimhood in the darkness and not seeing the light around you that is waiting to be accessed or entered. So I feel that this is very much about becoming aware. This Cancer moon, it's allowing you to access your emotions, but also find healthy ways of starting to recognize where you are in mistrust, how it is that you've been wounded throughout the year, how it is that you've become a victim, and therefore how it is that you can transform that and start shifting into a healthier version of yourself that nurtures yourself. So the next question is, where am I needing to nurture myself? Okay. Now this is a tricky one for me because we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. And the Seven of Cups is about fantasies and wish-fulfilled thinking. Okay. And so if it's in reverse, it means that I feel that it's about starting to see the truth. Starting to see things for what they are, starting to, and it's interesting because I feel there's quite a dark element to this reading, especially because the next question is, where am I needing to trust? And it's the Strength card, and I feel like the Strength card is talking about the need to go into the shadow and to start trusting your shadow, trusting that the way through to your healing and to your light is through the shadow, and to start trusting that it's okay to go there. It's okay to open the cesspit of all the things that you have kept pushed down in the unconscious. It's okay to let it out. It's okay for it to have a voice and to be felt and to be seen for the humanness of who I am and you are and we all are. We all need to go through this process. And so where am I needing to nurture myself is about stop fooling yourself or kidding yourself and start seeing the truth. Start choosing to see the truth and to see that there is a lot of things within your closet, my closet, that I'm not looking at, within my subconscious, within my shadow, that is needing my attention. And by starting to acknowledge it and look at it, it's becoming accountable for yourself, which is a very, very nurturing thing to do. It's starting to own you. It's starting to own all of who you are. There's such a strong inclination on this planet to keep everything safe and contained and nice, and let's not shake things up. And that is not truth. That's not honest. And what it does is it doesn't allow us to have a real intimate relationship, not only with ourselves, but with each other. So I feel like it's saying these two cards are talking about allowing ourselves to start seeing the truth by going into the shadow and letting the humanness of who we are come forth, because we all have it. And what's beautiful is the last card is, what am I completing this year? And we have the Five of Cups in reverse. And the Five of Cups is a card of loss. And for me, it's saying it's time to close the chapter on loss and struggle. And I feel that because we're now moving into, especially with Jupiter and Saturn having moved into Aquarius, I feel that it's going to be lighter. It's moving into a lighter realm. We still have Pluto in Capricorn, and we still have Neptune squaring the nodes, and of course the transits will always continue, and there's always light and dark playing out all the time. But I feel like because the card of loss is in reverse, it's time to come out of the loss and close that chapter. And the only way that one can do that is to start becoming accountable for your shadow, for who you are, start owning the truth, and stop being a victim. Wow, it's quite an intense reading. But if it's any consolation, the words that I speak come from my own path. So I do understand the journey, and it's a journey that we all have to take. So I hope that sheds some light on the situation. I hope that you have a beautiful full moon. I have a moon in Cancer. It's a very sensitive and tender, emotional moon to have, but it's also about emotional evolution. And once again, it's not getting lost in the emotions, but evolving the emotions. So I wish you a beautiful full moon, and once again, if you enjoyed our content, please like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, we really like to hear your comments. We like to hear how you feel about the reading and what you think, and what is inspiring for you about this full moon coming up. Whatever you wish to share, please share. We always enjoy reading it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.